something you felt like you were able to do at that point with
Like the
Ocean?
Hulk, I was like, you know, just bring them all in. We had a script and we had a director that everybody wanted to work with, right? So that wasn't me as much as that was Steven. You know, that happens a lot. The film that we have now with Jay Kelly with Noah, we had this incredible cast. Wait till you see them all. It's like, they're all unbelievable. And they wanted to all work with Noah. That's why it happens, you know, and that's sort of the, you know, all those actors really sort of jumped. And so I remember Julia Roberts was sort of at the peak of her Julia Roberts powers, and I'd never met her, but there was a big like cover of a magazine where she goes, the $20 million actress, you know. So I sent her the script with a $20 bill attached. I said, here you get 20 a picture. And she called up and said, I'm in. So, and we paid her only $20. And so it was, you know, I don't know about, you know, you sort of, it's not flexing your muscles as much as it is, you're trying to make, particularly at Warner Brothers at the time, but you're trying to make studios do films that they're not inclined to make, right? That's the deal. So you do an Oceans for them, and then you do a Syriana for you, or you do a, you know, another Oceans for them, and then you do a Good Night and Good Luck for you. And it was a bit of a trade-off, and that was sort of that's the way you could sort of play, you know, the game through that, you know, because the studios used to do those kind of films. You know, all those films from like '64 with Strange Love and Fail Safe and The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, all the way to '76 with All the President's Men, Network. You know, you know, it's incredible, and those were all studio films. So you know, it was trying to remind them of who they were at their best. You know?
I've had the pleasure of interviewing you and Julia together. You guys, that's okay. You guys came on TCM when you had Ticket to Paradise, and we talked about Cary Grant and Irene Dunn, because the two of you reminded me of them in that film. What was your hope when then she agreed to do Oceans? Was it like, hey, hopefully we'll have a good time this one time? Or, I mean, you must have been so excited and pleasantly surprised at the great friendship that formed out of it.
Well, she was just doing all the press for Aaron Brockovich, and she was about to, while we were shooting, she wins the Oscar. He wins the Oscar. He was nominated for 2 different films that year.
Traffic.
One for Traffic, and so they were hard to live with after that. Because she puts the Oscar right on top of the camera, the hood of her car. It's really embarrassing shit. You know, it's a funny thing. She's a generous soul and a generous actor, as is Brad, as is Matt, as is Don. And so there's an interesting thing if you watch like Oceans, for instance, is sort of a good example of this. You'll see it in Jay Kelly too. There is an active actor choice to try and make sure you're handing the scene off to the other actors, you're not trying to gather attention or credit or scenes for yourself. You're sort of going, you take that. And you get that feeling. You get it from Julia in the scenes that we do. It's thrown away. It's not grabbing it. And you know, the scenes with Matt and Brad and Don are all sort of that same feeling. That's a very lucky place to be when the director is confident, the actors are confident, and everybody likes each other.